Hi all, this is Lasan Jong, the Democrat killer again. Today I want to talk to you about capitalism in a very high-level term. In specific, why do the Dumocraps insist on suggesting and actually outright saying that capitalism is a failure? History shows that it is not. There are tons of examples where you can just even the last 50 years look over and see how much success capitalism has brought to countries that have adopted it. And every time we revert back to a smaller laissez-faire government and more towards a capitalist bent, even in this country, we show much better growth and we show much better expansion, and we help everybody at every levels of the socioeconomic ladder. So why do Democrats insist on besmirching capitalism? Well, if people think and believe and are satisfied with capitalism, which they should be, then anytime somebody comes and suggests that we should try something different, what's their reaction going to be? Why change something that works? Let it be. It's fine. That's going to be their reaction. So in order for Democrats to push their socialist, communist agenda, they have to first discredit capitalism. There's no other way. People have to believe that capitalism is a failure, and therefore there has to be a better alternative. And therefore, they're going to say, well, okay, let's give socialism a try. Why not? Because capitalism is failing. We should try something different if something is a failure. And this is why the Democrats insist, despite the evidence, despite the theory, despite everything that goes against it, this is why they have declared capitalism to be a failure, and this is why they keep pushing that idea that supply-side economics, top-down economics, trickle-down economics, whatever you want to call it, is an abject failure. When in reality, it is the only economic model that actually works and helps to improve people's lives. What is the definition of helping and improving people's lives, though? Okay, here it is. If you are not an educated person in terms of the economy, investments, money, etc., you only need to pay attention to one metric. And that is simply, do you make more money relative to the growth in inflation? In other words, net of inflation, are you making more money than you did before or less money than you did before? What is the median average income growth relative to inflation, to put it in technical terms? If it is positive, like it was during the Trump administration, then that is a successful economy. If it is negative, like it has been with Biden and Obama and prior presidents, then that is a bad thing. Okay? So very simply put, after inflation, are you making more or less money than you did before? If you are making more money, that means that the average median household income is growing above the rate of inflation, and this is a successful economy. If it's less than that, then it's an unsuccessful economy. By that measure, capitalism is a huge and wild success. Take a look at South Korea, for example. In 1955, along with Bangladesh, South Korea was the poorest country in the world. Bangladesh went along the socialist path. And their median income went from $500 measured in 2010 dollars. It went from $500 to $1,800. That's, 3.5x. In South Korea, the median income went from $500 to $32,000 by 2010. And South Korea clearly took the capitalist route. That is the difference between socialism and capitalism. You don't have to know anything else. You don't have to understand how it works. You don't have to know, what's the good points and bad points of one thing or the other. All you have to know is that historic evidence is crystal clear. In this country, we should also understand that capitalism is what made our country great, not socialism. And most people will argue, or the most Democrats will argue, no, it wasn't capitalism that made our country great. It was the unions that made our country great. The unions bound together to give workers better wages and better lives. No. Hello. First of all, how can unions form without these dominant capitalistic organizations to begin with? A union cannot form unless it is against something, and it can't be against anything if the anything doesn't exist. Hello! Duh! Second, yes, while capitalism, uncontrolled and unbound, is bad, and I call that basically the gangland economics model, where the fittest and the strongest survive and everybody else dies. That model of supposed capitalism doesn't work. I agree. It is a bad model. It is not a model that can sustain itself long term, and eventually it is poisonous just as much as anything else that is not a pure form of capitalism. The purest form of capitalism requires not just free flow of money and ideas, and that's one of the key things that make capitalism work. Free flow of money and ideas, but it also requires the playing field to be absolutely level. This is why monopolies are not allowed to exist in capitalist economies, because monopolies skew the playing field towards their favor. So, good, sensible regulations paired with free-flowing funds and ideas are what is at the corner of what capitalism really is, and is what drives the success of capitalist economies. Socialism is poison and death because it is based on immoral, corrupt principles of stealing. If you like my video, please post a like. Thank you for listening, and subscribe to my YouTube post. Have a great day.